Well, in the United States, and I do think this applies to Europe as well, um, one very large elephant in the middle of the room is the modern welfare state. And in the book, I cite scholars who believe that the welfare state is itself the engine of secularization. And what do we mean by that? Well, there's something really interesting and unheard of in human history that's been going on with the modern welfare state. This is why I think it is fair to bring in Europe, because the situation is even more extreme there. For most of our lives, the welfare state has been the wallpaper, right? It's been the thing that's always there. It makes this cradle to grave promise that it will take care of us, modern Western people. And what's interesting about that is that it means that the welfare state, in many ways, is competing with the more organic relations of family and church and community, and the things that are closer to us, literally and figuratively. So one of the things that's happening, I think, is that if the welfare state becomes untenable, which is something that economists, among other people, are starting to say will happen, then you're going to see a realignment of all of these institutions, church and family and state. If the welfare state, which has been bankrolling the fractured family and acting as a father substitute, is not able to do that anymore, it seems to me one likely result is that you will see a reconsideration of the importance of fatherhood, motherhood, again, these organic family connections. And I don't think this is an abstract thing, by the way. If you look at the great renewal movements of history, if you look at something like what happened under John Wesley in England and how that cleaned up the gin alleys of England, if you look at the Great Awakening, you see that these great spiritual and other sorts of moral renewal movements come from the grassroots. They come from people looking around and saying, hey, you know, the way we're living, it's untenable. And I think that the more evidence accumulates about the harms of the way we live now, the more people will reach that conclusion. So, you know, to the general question that people always ask, are you an optimist or a pessimist about these things? I actually think the case for optimism is stronger.